Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for today's session. It's just a little flow just to get us moving. We're going to be starting off lying on our back just so that we can wake up those glutes. So come and join me. Once you get here, just get yourself nice and comfy, checking that you're on the back of the head, pelvis is neutral so those hip bones are level. Maybe the arms are down by your side, palms facing the ceiling, or maybe you're joining me with your hands resting on your belly. Weights even through the feet about hip width apart, and the heels are roughly in line with the seat bones. Take a nice long inhale, exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. Then let's activate those deep tummy muscles, the ones that wrap all the way from the front, all the way around the back, all the way back around to the front again. So visualise a gentle hugging in. Maybe you're thinking about scooping up and in, maybe you're thinking about hollowing. Whichever visualisation works for you, not too tight. Check that that pelvis is still in neutral so you haven't tucked that tailbone. Weight even for both feet, lift the hips, low bridge. I've still got my hands on my belly and I'm checking that my pelvis is still in neutral. Maybe have a little poke to make sure those glutes are on. Maybe you'll feel those legs firing up as well. Checking that you're not rolling onto the outside edge of the feet because then the knees will roll out. So just check that the big toe mound's in contact with the floor. Just pause in here, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Couple more deep breaths in and out, obviously. On your next exhale, you're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, upper back, nice and slowly all the way down to that lower back, pelvic tilt, slowly and carefully come back to neutral. Pause here. Float the right foot off the floor, right knee, right hip, left foot, left knee, left hip. Maybe bring the hands to the knees and just circle the knees together, nice and slow. Gentle circles, gentle massaging of the lower back. And then slowly change direction. And we'll all meet back in centre. Float that right foot down, left foot down. Set yourselves up again, weight even for both feet. Feet roughly in line with the seat bones, pelvis in neutral. Gentle hug into the midline. And coming back to that low bridge, checking that those glutes are working. Hands can be on the floor, on the belly, or maybe the palms of the hands are in contact with the thighs. Coming into our glute or hip raises, keep that gentle hug in, keep the glutes on. Slowly lower the hips back down towards the floor. And before those glutes touch, squeeze up and then lower down. Squeeze up. Check that you're not rolling onto the outside edges of the feet. And squeeze. Keep activating those glutes. Keep that gentle hug in. And squeeze it up. And gently lower. Squeeze up. Last one. Squeeze up. Hold it here. Nice long inhale, and as you exhale, slowly curl down, vertebrae by vertebrae, pelvic tilt, slowly come all the way back to that neutral spine. Float the left leg up, right leg up. I'm bringing my hands to the knees. I'm going to circle knees out, left to the left, right to the right, and then slowly back in. Doesn't matter what direction you started in. And work with your own range of movement of the hip joint in your circles here. And slowly change direction. And then just give those knees a little bit of a squeeze in towards the body. And then float the feet down one at a time. Slowly roll to one side. I'm just going to grab a drink of water and then we're going to meet up in tabletop. So sit at base. James. Definitely want to cut that out. You can have a little chuckle too. So, shoulders are over the wrists, spread the fingers wide, push down through the finger pads and just soften the knuckles of the fingers. Shoulder blades are in neutral on the back of the rib cage. Pelvis is in neutral. Gentle hug into the midline. Feet can be flat on the floor or toes tucked. Gentle hug in, hold it here. And then take some deep breaths here. Keep that gentle hug in. And then come into tabletop hip circles. Work with your own range of movements. It can be a small circle or slightly bigger. That neck is in line with the rest of the spine, so you're not dropping the head down or jutting the chin up. That's what I'm guilty of doing sometimes, is jutting that chin up. And slowly change direction. And then slowly come back to centre. And I'm going to lean to the left and make a little bit of room so I can just step that right foot forward. I'm heel toe my feet, foot so it's in the middle of our hands. Right knee, right ankle, low lunge. Top of the left foot still in contact with the floor. And coming up into a kneeling lunge, 90-90. Right knee, right ankle, left hip, left knee. Reach fingertips up towards the ceiling. Keep that gentle hug into the midline. My left glute, I've got a gentle squeeze so it's activated, reaching up. Lovely long stretch. I can feel it down the front of my left hip. You may feel it there or you may feel its sensation somewhere else. And bend those elbows, come into your goddess arms, opening out the chest. If this feels uncomfortable, you can just lightly place the palms on the back of the hips. Try not to push the hips forward and just gently open out the chest here. Whatever feels comfortable for you. And then just slowly release the arms down and just roll out the shoulders. The arms can just be dangling at the side and maybe the fingertips are touching lightly on the shoulders. Let's do a couple more. Pelvis is stable. A little bit of movement in the shoulder blades and the rib cage. And let's just soften forward. Keep that gentle hug in, sliding that right leg all the way back out. So you're extending it behind you onto the toes. Check that the hips are square to the mat. Shoulders are over the wrist. Keep that gentle hug in. Squeeze that right glute. Float the toes off the floor. Pause and hold it here. So we're not thinking about height, think about length rather than height. Trying not to hyperextend that right knee and breathe. And then bend that right knee, slowly lower that right knee down towards the floor. Tabletop. And then from here, just gently lean to the right, maybe to make some more space to step that left foot forward, coming into your low lunge. Left knee, left ankle. Top of the right foot in contact with the floor. Slowly hinge up. Push down for that right foot. Right glute is on. Gentle hug in. Reaching fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. You can soften the fingers, soften the elbows and the palms. You don't have to be rigid. Enjoy that nice long stretch. Option to wobble like I just did. And you can bend the elbows, or you can gently place the hands here, open at the chest, making sure you're not pushing on those hips. And then release the arms down. Maybe make your shoulders a little bit bigger. Trying to keep that pelvis as stable as you can. Let's do a couple more. Feel those shoulder blades moving. And then just slowly come all the way down, sliding that left leg through and behind. Check in your base, gentle hug in. Left glute is on. Float the left toes off the floor, holding it here. And breathe. Bend that left knee, tabletop. Set your base. This time tuck the toes, gentle hug in. Hover the knees off the floor, keep that hug in. And then the hips are up, down dog. And then set your base in your down dog. And then bend the knees. So we're spreading the fingers wide, relaxing the head and neck, push down through the finger pads of the hands, checking that you're not locking those fingers out. Push up through the arms, lengthen the armpits, keep that gentle hug in. Bending the knees. I'm not going to worry about lengthening out the legs, the back of the legs, or worry about bringing the heels to the mat. We're going to think about making that lovely long V shape, so lengthening out the spine, keep that gentle hug in, keep energising the arms, head and neck relaxed, and then maybe have a little sway if you feel comfortable doing that. And then from here, we're going to have a nice easy walk, walking our feet to our hands. So I'm going to lean to the left, you don't have to, and then my right palm will float off the floor on my finger pads. I've then got some room to step my right foot forward, and then I'm going to lean to my left, and then I'm going to step my left foot forward, and just keep doing that, walking all the way to that, releasing that head. When I get to the front of the mat, my knees are bent, and I'm just going to rest my upper body on my thighs, and then I'm going to relax my head and neck. And then option to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, or join me in hinging. I'm hip hinging all the way up, and I'll meet with our fingertips pointed up towards the ceiling. Slowly release the arms down, set your base, feet back hip width apart, weight even through the feet, soften the knees, shoulders are soft, hands are soft. Inhale, float the arms all the way up. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, soften. We're going to do one more. I'm going to inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, release. And then lean to the left. So shifting the weight to that left foot. So you can step that right foot back. And then swivel the toes around so the toes are parallel to the long side of the mat. And that always moves. And then from here, bring the heels in. Bend the knees, goddess. So just check your base, check that those knees aren't falling in and going in the direction of the toes. Maybe you need to adjust your feet, so just gently heel toe the feet apart. Check that that pelvis is in neutral. And then the options, you can keep the hands here, or maybe come up to your goddess arms. Option to stay still or pulse. So I've got that gentle hug in, glutes are on. And then take a nice long inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Just stay there for a moment. And one more. Lengthen up. And as you exhale, you're just going to turn those feet round. Left toes to the front of the mat. And they'll come into warrior two. And then just set your base. If you need to adjust the length of your warrior, whether you want to shorten it or lengthen it out, check in with that front knee. Shoulders are soft. So remember, you don't have to be rigid. You can look straight ahead down that left middle finger, or you can look out to the side. Take a nice long inhale. And as you exhale, reverse it. Maybe releasing that right ear towards that right shoulder. And on your next exhale, you're just going to swivel that back foot round. Just allow that right arm to float up and over so the fingertips catch the floor. Left hand down, low lunge. Slowly lower that right knee down underneath that hip. Slowly sliding that left leg back. Gentle hug in, glutes are on, floating that left toe off the floor, toes. And then maybe add in that right arm, Superman, holding it here, nice and strong. And on your next exhale, tabletop. Maybe have a little wiggle, setting your base, tucking the toes, gentle hug into the midline. And on your next inhale, float the knees off the floor, knee hover, hips up, down dog. And then just set your base in your down dog, relaxing the head and neck. And then maybe in this down dog, you decided that you're going to lengthen out the legs. Try not to lock the knees out. And don't worry about the heels touching the floor. They may never ever touch the floor, and that is fine. So pushing up through the arms, lengthen the armpits, energize those arms, relax the head and neck. You have a gentle sway, or maybe you'd like to walk your dog out, so just lowering one heel down, slowly bringing it off the floor. And then we're going to just do that nice easy walk, feet to the hands at the front of the mat. So I'm just going to lean to the right to create some space, step my left foot forward, and then lean to the left to step that right foot forward. Keep the head and neck nice and relaxed, just that nice easy walk. My knees are bent. And when I get to the front of the mat, I'm going to use my thighs to support my upper body. I'm going to relax my head and neck. My hips are floating back. And on your next inhale, maybe roll up or maybe hip hinge up. Keep that gentle hug in. Reach the fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale, release the arms all the way down. Shift the weight to that right foot, step that left foot back. And then from here, toes are parallel. Bring the heels in, lower down to goddess. Checking the knees. Check that pelvis. Gentle hug into the midline. An option to come into your goddess arms and just pause here. Now from here, you can stay still, or you can join me in rotating round to the left and then slowly back to centre. Just maybe half an inch or an inch in that rotation. So I'm coming round to the left, centre, right, centre, left, centre, right, centre. I think we can do one more each side. And then come back to centre, release the arms down to the thighs. Inhale, lengthen the legs, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, softening down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Just pause here for a moment. And then inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, come round and soften into a right warrior two. Set your base. Let's reverse it. Bringing that right arm up and over, side bend, open up the right side of the body. Maybe releasing that left ear down towards that left shoulder. And then on your next exhale, you're going to slowly come up and over. So you're swiveling that left foot round. Windmill that left hand down, right hand down, low lunge. Left knee underneath that left hip, sliding that right leg back. Gentle hug in, right toes are off the floor, pausing here. And then slowly bring up that left arm, check that the hips are square. And breathe. and slowly come to tabletop. And then let's just circle out the hips one more time. You can stay here in your tabletop hip circles, or if it feels comfortable, maybe come into rolling hip circles so the hips come all the way down towards the heels. Just work with your own range of movement. Let's do one more in this direction. And then slowly change direction. Let's do one more. And then slowly to centre. You can either join me in kneeling, or you can come around to an easy cross-legged. And then just close your eyes. Maybe the hands are at heart, maybe you're resting the palms on the thighs, and maybe the palms are facing up. Take a nice long inhale, float the arms and fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly bring the hands down through to heart centre, maybe to the belly or thighs. That's 2 more times. Float the arms up with the inhale. Exhale, slowly come down. One more. You can just stay here for as long as you like, or you can now get on with your day. But thank you very much for joining me for that short little practice. If you liked it, maybe hit the thumb underneath. Any questions or comments, please write them down below. You can message me on Instagram or maybe pop me an email. But I hope to see you soon. Bye.